The name of the game is the Escapists, so our goal should be self-explanatory. Let's start off very easy with center perks, and without further ado, let's escape prison. As you can see, we've got a cell to ourselves, so that's nice. But we're surrounded by other inmates, because we're in a prison, so that makes sense. I have this desk to store my items in, and a toilet. Every day starts with a roll call, and while that starts, let's instead go and rob my fellow jailmates. Now some prisoners will sell items, and others will give me quests, which I can complete for cash. And we're gonna need cash. I found some chocolate and a lighter, and as soon as I get a cup, we've as good as won already. But before that, it was time for breakfast. Rather than eat, I stole some cutlery and began breaking through my wall. Only the fork can chip it, which I realized after grabbing everything else, and it breaks it very slowly, because I am breaking a stone wall with a fork, so that's fair. I did as much as I could and resolved to finish that tomorrow. Now my starting job is laundry, which consists of taking dirty laundry, cleaning it in the washing machine, and then placing it in another bin. As you can imagine, it's quite easy, and it's gonna earn me a nice bit of cash. Since I'm so efficient, I decided to spend the rest of the workday browsing the internet, which somehow increases my intelligence. Next up was exercise block, and as you can see right here, it says the buttons on the screen, which I ignored. And then I could not figure out how to exercise, so I spent the entire period confused and got nothing done. I then completed my first favor and was instantly beat up by the guards for it. I spent my free time committing more theft, coincidentally the reason I'm in prison in the first place, after which I decided to scout the outer wall. I then beat up a fellow prisoner in private and convinced the guard that I was the victim, so they would attack him instead, and then I robbed his unconscious body. After the nightly roll call, it was time for lights out, and we start up with day 2. I got hit with the cell search, so I had to move all my illegal items out of the desk. And after breakfast, I dropped it all back off, expecting them to have already checked me, and then I went back to the wall. Now, we'll need to craft a covering before destroying it, otherwise they're gonna notice the giant gaping hole in the wall. So, I'm gonna start looking for some duct tape to make a poster with, and look what Jackson's selling. Boom, we've removed the wall and replaced it with a poster. So now I can store stuff back here, which is nice. I decided to flush the entire brick down the toilet, and it miraculously didn't clog. It was back to work, and I couldn't figure out what the issue was, until I finally realized that I had pre-filled the washers, and I had my pockets full. So, easy fix. But boy, did I feel very stupid. But same as last time, it was right back to the internet as soon as I finished. Still can't figure out the right buttons to work out, but we'll get there eventually. As soon as the coast was clear, I began moving my items behind the wall. And as you can see, there is quite a lot of space back here. And just like that, we are on to day 3. Nothing good in anyone's desk, so I earned a little bit of cash from work, and then tried to beat up this card. I failed, and was instantly sent to the infirmary. Now I wanted this item, so I spent a while breaking down another wall, but once again, I need a covering. So I made some paper mache, combined that with ink, and we made a fake wall block. All I found there was the subscribe button for the channel. You should definitely click that, and also like the video and leave a comment while you're down there. Now I also found a utility key, but trust me, that is far less valuable. I want to see if I could walk around outside with an infirmary outfit, and as you can see, I can. But if an officer's in sight, you're going to constantly gain heat. It's good information to have, but since I didn't want to die, I decided to go change back into a prisoner. And then I watched Jackson rifle through my stuff, right in front of my eyes. I then got beat up due to my high heat, and then fired from my job, which I didn't feel like doing anyway. I also finally figured out the buttons to work out, so you can stop feeling disappointed. Now, he might despise me, but Wesker luckily was more than willing to sell me some duct tape. I then watched a prison brawl before using my key to steal this hidden item crate. It ended up being worthless, unlike the one we found earlier, but at least we know what it is. And the next one was also worthless, because I don't need a crowbar. The back room is now filled, and it's time for day 5. I snuck out as a guard this time, but returned before I could be shot, but I've officially decided on my escape route. I crafted a pair of cutters that I'll need, or I would've if I was smarter. So I went and fixed that, and then escaped from Wesker before he could make me lose all my stuff. I knew this wouldn't work, but I wanted to see if I could do anything during the day. I was of course instantly shot, so I just reset the day. I quickly remade them, and then I just sat and waited for the rest of the day to go by, since it was time for a breakout. Since I wasn't being searched, I put up some curtains, put a bed dummy in my place, and then I went to the back room. I grabbed the key to the door, my cutters, and I changed into the guard outfit. And now, it was officially time to escape. I walked to the corner, away from any prying eyes, and avoided the patrolling guard. Once he was gone, I began cutting the fence. It took a while, because I had the worst set of cutters in the game, but nobody came to check my area, so I finally cut it open and walked off into the night, once again a free man. And we have officially escaped Escapists, which means it's time for Stalag flucht, a nice easy nap. Not a very easy nap, but an easy nap nonetheless. I named myself Eric and got to work. This time we have a roommate, which is going to make things more difficult, like robbery. Like before, we start every day with a roll call, where I began to make some friends. I also crafted a wad of putty, which will allow me to steal a guard's key. And now it's time to put those resources to the test. I sent my 5 friends towards Odell, but they all dispersed when they lost sight of him, so just me and this one other guy attacked him, and we died. So I just reset because I already lost my putty. So back to Stalag flucht, and the warden reminds me that I won't be able to escape. I remade my putty, got some more friends, and we attacked Officer Urwing. Now I retrieved some pills as part of a favor, but I didn't want his key, so I left it be. And while I wait for my next target, I took care of my gardening job for the day. And by that, I mean I ignored it and got fired because I don't need the money. And the next target is Officer Hunter. Coincidentally, the name of somebody I would love to physically assault in real life. And he had the entrance key. Now in order to create these fake keys, I need more intelligence. So, I spent some time in the library. And we're on to day 2, where I return to my favorite activity, robbery. I found a cup, which will come in handy with this lighter and this piece of chocolate. Now that I'm smart, let's create some molten chocolate, which as you'll see, will instant knock out a guard. Now once he was inside, I made a mold of his key, and I stole both his clothes and his baton. I made some more putty for molds, and I made some molten plastic to make the actual key, but once again, I need more intelligence. Duct tape is always needed, so I used my copious wealth to purchase some, and I made a contraband pouch to fool any metal detectors. And I started day 3 with some crafting, followed closely by some learning. Unfortunately for Cloak, he entered a secluded area, and I earned myself a cell key mold. And here it is. I tried attacking the guard, but he escaped, and my friends dispersed. I tried again, but they left me again, and I had to escape. But finally, using the power of friendship, we knocked down Gary, and I discovered the staff key, the final key that I'm gonna need for this escape. I brought him to my desk, but I got cold feet and I decided to steal his key later, since if he wakes up without it, I instantly get sent to solitary. I bought some more duct tape, and then got shot on my way back, losing it immediately. Now it was time for a new key, and Gary was nice enough to head inside, so I stole all his stuff and finally made that staff key mold. I've let my intelligence lapse though, so it's back to the library, and since I didn't do it for long enough, I had to go back again. This time I actually brought the materials with me. And now I have all of the keys I'll need, as well as this pair of clippers, and I also made a shovel with some of my extra material just in case I need it. And with no search tonight, I loaded myself up, let my roommate go to sleep, tossed the dummy in bed, changed into a guard outfit, and then I left my cell. Since I have a contraband pouch, I walked through the detector with no issues, into the back area, through the staff entrance, and after that, I turned off the generator. I don't think I had to hit it with a shovel. I think if I clicked on it normally it would have shut off, but I chose to use the shovel because I built it for no reason otherwise. And with it destroyed, I got to work on the fence. Same as last time, it took a little bit of time, but I kept with it, and with no guards here to check on me, I cut a hole in it and walked off to freedom. And just like that, we've escaped Stalag flucht. And it's on to something a bit more difficult. Shankton State Pen, a moderate level prison. I changed my name, and I entered the level where the warden taunted me, not knowing what was soon to come for him. As you can see, we are alone once again, but there are a lot more guards, as well as quite a few more inmates than usual. And there were also cameras everywhere in the prison. We start, as per usual, with a roll call. And just look at everybody, this is truly a massive prison. And more inmates means more desks to rob, and you know that I'm more than happy to commit robbery. However, it does also mean that there were more guards to notice. Truly a double-sided coin, isn't it? It looks like we're a janitor here, so let's get that done for the day, and steal some molten chocolate supplies. Now, I'm gonna go for a prison takeover this time, which means that I need to knock out 8 out of the 10 guards here, and then I just get to go free. There's also an afternoon roll call here though, so I'll need to hide my stuff. I put it back near the end of next period, but apparently they still hadn't checked yet, so into solitary we go, and now we are on to day 4. I didn't reset because I didn't really lose anything. Now, since we're doing a prison takeover, we need high health and damage. So, it's time to hit the gym. Luckily, I know how to do that now. And when we run out of stamina, the showers. There's no time to work since all my free time is going to be spent pumping iron and robbing everybody in this prison. As you can see, I have quite a few supplies already. You never guess where I spent exercise block. I'll give you a hint, though. It's also where I spent roll call the next day, and after I regained my stamina, it's also where I spent my leisure period, since there's really no time to relax. Day 6 started the same way, until I finally decided it was time to exercise the most important muscle, the brain. Mainly because I need to be able to craft things, and as you can see, we're already pretty much near max strength and max speed anyway. And after crafting all my molten chocolates, I decided to give the breakout a try, and it failed spectacularly since I completely forgot how quickly guards get back up. So, I restarted the day, went through roll call, and then I began my search for duct tape, since that is going to keep the guards immobilized for more than long enough for me to escape. And I quickly found myself some, before learning some more knowledge, and then I used that knowledge to craft a pair of nunchucks to use. I then lost a fight to a guard, but I was nearly unarmed and we almost got him. And it was on to day 8, which may come to be the final day in prison, i.e. the day of our escape. I found some duct tape, and then I found even more duct tape. I'm still going to make sure I have full stats, so don't worry about that, guys, okay? Nothing else happened, and I moved on to day 9 because I wasn't ready to leave yet. And I tried to craft myself some armored clothes, but I was too stupid. I gave the escape another try, failed again, reset, tried again, and then failed again. So I decided to play it safe and get my knowledge up. And because of that, I now have armored clothes, which worked better, but still failed because I don't have enough duct tape. So I went back to the search and I found 2 in one desk, and I was really happy about that. But then I went and found another 2 in Simon's desk. Now I pretty much have enough to escape, so I decided to just push my stats to the limit and to initiate breakout on day 10. I found one final piece of duct tape on Tasty's body, but I had to go through the detector so my heat jumped instantly to 99. So I had to avoid not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 guards, and then I just dropped it off in somebody's toilet. And I got it back later after I was done getting beat up. I have quite a few illegal items, so luckily for me I wasn't searched tonight, and we moved on to day 10, the day of our breakout, and I mean that for real this time. I built and I donned my plate armor, grabbed my nunchucks, and then loaded myself up with 3 molten chocolates and 3 rolls of duct tape. Then I started my breakout by taking out and tying up James, and then dropping him off in my cell. Next up came MD, then Kino, and followed by Lee, and all of them were of course dropped in my cell as well. If I can't break out before backup arrives, then I instantly get sent to solitary and lose, but I've already got 5 of the 8 guards tied up, so I'm feeling pretty good. Jamal went down next, followed by Gil, and then finally Officer Chung. And once I beat him unconscious, I received a note from Warden Patrick. He unlocked the gate and was allowing me to go free as long as I stopped beating up and tying up his guards. And I warned you at the beginning that I was going to make him regret taunting me. I knocked out one final guard just to send a message, and then I left the prison, hoping that the snipers weren't going to still shoot me. They didn't, but I didn't know where the exit was, and with only a minute left, I kinda had to hurry. And along the left side of the prison, I finally found the now unlocked exit and walked off into the sunset. Once again, a free man. We've officially escaped Shankton, and I think it's time to turn over a new leaf, and for us to live a lawful life. Therefore, we won't even be sent to the jungle compound. And that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you liked it. Let me know if you want to watch me escape any more prisons in the future. And have a great rest of your day. Bye.